What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back with more Danmachi, and we have got to have a discussion about this, about what's coming. First of all, the question right out of the gate. Do you want to summon on this banner? Yes, you have to summon on this banner. You 100% must summon on this banner. We don't know when these units are going to come back. The one thing we do know about the new Hero Festa gacha units, Hero Festa units will not go in the general pool. They will be time limited, sort of. They're also not going to go in time limited banners. They're going to be their own exclusive thing. They're only going to be on Hero Festa banners. Now, they have said we are going to, or I guess Riflyer has said that they're going to release Hero Festa banners periodically. I believe was the terminology used. Now, obviously, that means anniversaries. I would not expect another one at least minimum until spring. It's hard to tell. The huge question here is, does this devalue all other general 4-star banners? And it really kind of does. It really does. And that is truly unfortunate. That means like the banner last week that I really loved, and I wanted to go further in on it. I wanted to finish up my summons on Sunday. Something came up Sunday night and I wasn't able to stream. But kind of a good thing, because now that 200 hours that I was going to spend, or 2,000 hours I was going to spend, is now going to go into this banner. So this banner is a must. If you haven't seen what these units do, they're absolutely game-breakingly awesome. Okay? First, we're going to start with Asterius. Asterius has HP 5732. That is easily the highest HP in the game. And I'm going to go ahead and call myself out for something we talked about yesterday and I got mixed up on. But nevertheless, 5732 is the highest HP we've seen in the game, bar none. Like, we've seen some units that are like 4,500, 4,300. We've talked about how amazing that is compared to the HP we had this time last year. Then you got units like this. And he's fresh CP, okay? So if absolutely nothing else, if you don't even care about this banner, you don't like the characters, which I don't see how you couldn't, for whatever reason, you've got to at least get one Asterius, if nothing else. Because once he's kind of gone, he'll only come back on these specific, these specific, what do they call them, Hero Gacha banners. When they do come back, they'll be obviously limited on those banners too. B, he's fresh CP, which means that you'll be able to feed CP numbers into him. He's a Xenos, so you'll be able to use the Xenos fruits. Obviously, dungeon sandwiches are probably going to be the number one otherwise item for him. Well, books of knowledge and books of nobility, maybe, but I'm going to guess dungeon sandwiches probably most likely. But nevertheless, this unit is going to be bonkers. This unit is going to be absolutely insane. Look at that physical stat. 2437 is nuts. 1160 is wild. 1055 for Dex is really good. Double S stats on both of those. Agility. Now, I did talk about this yesterday, and I'll go ahead and rant myself out. Bells is higher. And I think by the time I saw Bells after ranting about this for so long, I just kind of in my mind added like 500 to the score or something. I don't know. I want to say this is the highest in the game, but Bells is technically higher. The honest answer is here after all the buffs that are going to take place. Asterius is going first, period. So just an absolutely crazy, nutty unit. 395 MP. Considering his first skill does cost 141 MP, does seem a little on the chintzy side. But the honest answer here is your assist is going to add into that. He's got HP regen. You should have HP regen on your team at this point. So on and so forth. It's really not that big of a deal. It might be slightly limiting early game, but by mid game, it's not going to be a problem at all. Yeah. So Asterius, nuts. Absolutely nuts. If you happen to miss yesterday's video, we'll talk about what he does, because there are a few brand new things he brings to the table. Okay, so Asterius, skill 1. 141 MP cost, like I said, a self fast. Here's the new mechanic. Shield 40% of max HP. Literally what that's going to do, and we predicted yesterday before we even talked about the other stuff, it's basically going to add a secondary life bar that's 40% of your existing HP. Literally, he's just going to put up a barrier, more or less a shield in front of you. Or in front of him, I guess I should say, because it is a self buff. That's going to be 40% of whatever HP you've got. That then becomes like your basically his defensive mark. Strength and dark attack damage and light resistance and ailment resistance. Remember that light resistance is huge. 60%. Okay, not the craziest numbers we've seen. But given everything he's got here, it actually turns out to be like a 90% buff to another character. It's pretty nutty. AoE and single target damage taken down 60%. So another defensive buff. This dude is all about defense. No, he's not. Look at that number. Defense is his primary. His offense still ain't bad. He's a freaking unit. Absolutely insane unit. Okay. So AoE and single target damage taken down 60%. Remember that includes ailment resistance and light resistance, mind you. And 3 additional actions. Foes, plural. Mid-dark physical attack with ultra and guard rate. Skill damage 60% per self single target damage taken reduction buff. That means that if you have an assist on your team that reduces the amount of single target damage taken as well, that every single turn that is active, meaning turn 2, 3, and 4 for the sake of argument, even if you never rebuff it, that is a secondary attack with a 120% damage buff. I'll state that again, in case you weren't paying attention. This dude, after putting up all those defensive buffs, after buffing himself to the moon, on turn 2 comes in with an extra hit, a secondary hit. That is I believe it's a mid-dark physical attack. Yeah, mid-dark physical attack with ultra unguard rate. Skill damage 60%. That's if you play your cards right. That's a 120% hit. Per self single target damage take a reduction buff. You should have that both on the Avenger and the assist side. And on top of that, with the extra skill, still mind you, self 40% HP heal. Extend status buffs by 3 turns. Now, the only real downside of this unit is that he does that to himself, not all allies, if I'm reading this correctly, unless it's just a bad translation. And at this point, who knows? Who cares? He's completely insane as it is. Asterius is going to be, if you see him on an opposing wargame team, you darn well better have him yourself. Because even if you have the new bell, Asterius is going to take that team absolutely apart. I want to emphasize, we've not even gotten to skill 2 yet. This is all skill 1 and the extra action from skill 1. Skill 2 is an 89 MP cost. Foes, plural, slow. This is a slow attack. Super dark physical attack with ultra uncounter rate. Temporary strength boost. And self, remove status debuffs. And foes, remove strength, magic, and dex buffs. And foes, physical resist down 40%. And AoE damage taken plus 40%. Now I want to emphasize, that's your turn 2 move. And that's when the extra skill comes in. So on top of everything else that extra skill does, your physical resistance debuffed, and you're going to take extra action from an AoE attack. Are you sold on this unit yet? Now I'll talk about the one downside here, because I imagine a lot of the stuff we're seeing here is going to be susceptible to that big downside on him. But we'll discuss that here momentarily. Okay. Skill 3 is a 61 MP cost foe singular. Slow. Superclass. Dark physical attack with skill damage 60%. Per self single target damage taken. Or sorry. Single target damage reduction buff. And 30% HP steal. So literally that extra action, that's AoE, is single target here. And he's still going to hit the extra action as well. That's really only there if your units get taunted. That's the only thing it's there for. And included in that skill 3 hit is a 30% HP steal and self heal status ailments and single target damage taken down 60% and ailment resistance plus 60%. This unit is absurd. It's a whole new level. And I freaked out when we got the anniversary units, right? The anniversary units were like wild, unbelievable, unfathomable even. This unit blows them out of the water. This is a meta I would not have expected for 2 or 3 more years in this game. And it's literally just, here's new difficulty, go. It's wild. It really is. Asterius, SA, is a foes plural ultra dark physical attack with ultra on guard rate. Skill damage 120% per self single target damage taken or damage reduction buff skill. So where that was a 120% hit before, theoretically, this is a 240% hit. Now, once again, you have to have the buff, the defensive buff, on both the adventure side and the assist side. He already gives it to himself, so you do need an assist that does that. If you don't, you're really losing out, but he is a wild and crazy unit. Here's the deal, guys. I'm going to go after this unit hard. He is my absolute number 1 on this incoming banner. And I really want to test him out. Because I want to see... Number 1, I love Asterius as a character. Like, Asterius is just so cool to me. Number 2, I really want to test this out. I am not a wargame main by any stretch of the imagination. I usually avoid wargame, like doing it up to King 1 or Jester 3, and just sated with, a mediocre score, because, your rewards are good at that point, and it's not a tremendous fight. I really want to see what this guy's capable of. I really want to see that. So we're gonna mess with this a little bit. Now, we may not be able to max him out tonight. We'll talk about that, but we'll talk about that on stream tonight. Well, we'll talk about that actually here in a moment. So, is wild. So, we didn't even finish the essay here. I just got sidetracked. So, 120% damage per self single target damage reduction buff, 30% HP steal of that damage. So, 30% of the damage becomes HP. And 4 additional actions, foes plural mid-dark physical attack, with ultra on guard rate, skill damage 60% per single target damage reduction skill, 60% HP heal per turn, mind you, and extend status buffs by 3 turns. Literally the same skill with a 60% heal instead of a 40% heal, and it goes an extra turn. Asterius is insane, guys. Asterius is a game changer. No questions. Asterius is going to be completely bonkers. 45% light resistance, regular attacks, encounters, or dark physical attack. 35% strength, endurance, agility, and dex. 20% damage on critical and penetration. 60% damage on counter. 8% HP and MP. And I think I talked about this yesterday. I think the highest we've had this so far is 4% on both skills. Maybe like 10 on one, but still nutty, bonkers, quite crazy. 25% physical and magic resistance if he is, if the first unlock is done. I believe that's +3, I think. When fully maxed limit broken, it adds another 35% ailment resistance. These last two are only unlocked when he's max limit broken. Okay. Now, we have to see how this plays out because apparently he's going to work a little bit differently as far as the unlocking goes. I'm not completely clear on how that's going to work, but the unlocking is apparently going to work slightly differently than your standard 4-star unit. In fact, they're going to have dedicated bonds, as we'll see in the data mines video here shortly, that pertain specifically to these new units. God, I want him so much. I really want to max limit break him. The thing is, I don't know with the way these unlocks worked. Number one, I expect them to be really expensive, and I never have enough valves to do these things. Number two, and the biggest kind of scariest portion of it all, is with the extra bonds and all that, there has been some question as to whether these unlock like other units. I have plenty of Falna. I don't have enough Valis. I do need to do some Valis farming today. Definitely don't have enough Iris. I gotta do some Iris farming today for absolute certain. The reality is, if he does unlock a little bit differently, it's quite possible that we may not be able to maximum break him tonight. But in fairness, being a gacha game and knowing that they're going to want people to spend their hard-earned money, I simply don't see that being the case. So he'll probably unlock normally. You'll need 5 bonds of him. The banner is 4 turns. Now, let's talk about the banner real quickly, and then we'll move on to Bell, because we're going to go back here. The banner is 4 rotations, okay? The banner itself, first pull is 200 Iris, great. Second pull is 300 Iris, phenomenal. You basically get 2 pulls for the price of a little more than 1. Third pull is 300 Iris, phenomenal. Those are all 11 draws, and they are 3-star guaranteed. Fourth draw is a 4-star unit guaranteed, but not a Hero Festa 4-star unit. Just a regular 4-star unit. Still a substantial value. Fantastic value. I don't know, and we'll have to see if the animations are the same for Hero Festa units. It might be a little bit different. I'm sure we'll see that in data mines here shortly. I actually haven't looked. Just literally now thought about that. So there might be a unique animation here. So if you get that animation up in here, which is possible, it doesn't mean that you can't get a Hero Festa unit up in here. It just means this is the first time it's guaranteed. So basically 200, 300, 300. You're talking 200, 500, 800. So this is right here. You get 3 summons for the price what normally 2 would cost. Okay. Then they give you a regular price summon and then a regular price summon. So really, you're going in this fairly deep. I mean, you're going 1600 at this point. But the problem is if you want to maximum break both these units, and remember, you only get 4 guaranteed because, look right here, you only get 4 guaranteed. And that's 6,400 Iris all in. I'm sure there will be paid banners, no doubt. I seriously do not doubt that. I don't know if they'll be the same cost. You'll have to check out the data mine videos for that. We'll cover all that in and of itself in the data mine videos. Obviously, we've got the paid banners and all that stuff. Or I'm sorry, the paid banners, the whale bundles and all that stuff. We'll have to see. Now, at first, when I really was pondering this, I was like, man, this is foul. Because you've got 1,600 here, and you got to do this 4 times. That is 6,400 Iris into 1 banner. But being a Hero Festa banner, on part 2, this kind of takes place of what you would otherwise have 2 banners that are 8,000 Iris each, or 8,000 Iris in total. So when I really started pondering this, I was like, man, it super sucks. They really need more guarantees up in here. But also, like, if you get to this point and you haven't already pulled a Hero Festa unit, I mean, that's 50 draws. I don't know what their percentages are going to be. If their percentages are going to be the same as regular 4 stars, by now you should have pulled one. And then this would be the guaranteed. Because if they are, 2% per adventurers, should have already pulled one and then had the guaranteed here. So in theory, in statistically, I know that's not how things work. There is somebody out there that's going to get only their guaranteed on each of the draws and be livid about it. There's somebody that's going to get a Hero Festa on every single one of these. It is expensive, guys. It is a very, very, very expensive banner. My opinion, these units are absolutely worth it. Let's go over and talk about Bell. And I really, yesterday, I think I played up the cost of this banner, and after really pondering it, I'm like, it's actually not that bad, because I'd rather this than, 6 more 4-star units that now have just lost so incredibly much value. Yeah. We'll talk about bonding those units and all that probably tomorrow. I'm going to go hard on this banner tonight. I'm really hoping that I pull at least an Asterius or 2. Bell, I still wouldn't be mad about. Let's talk about Bell real quick. Because Bell, I mean, don't get me wrong. Both these units are phenomenal. I just kind of want Asterius more. Maybe that's me. I don't know. Bell, 5436 HP. Asterius was 5732. So he's got more HP. Bell, 2373 for physical attack. Asterius was 2437. So Asterius is still a little bit higher in that regard. Bell, 908 endurance. Asterius was over the thousands. Both of those, I believe even 908 is the highest we've seen at this point. I know 1100 in endurance is like the highest we have ever seen in this game to this point. 908's probably way up there. 1099. I think this would be like second. Asterius would be first. 1099 for Dex is super good. 1474. I got flamed in the comments yesterday because literally when I saw Asterius' number, I went loony. And then by the time this one came around, the sticker shock had worn off. Bell's is higher than Asterius. Bell is faster than Asterius, which shouldn't come as a shock. Everything we know about the characters. But it is wild either way. Has a little bit more magic power too at 443. 44, I wish. At 443 MP, Bell is doing quite well in MP, even better than Asterius. So Bell is faster and has more MP, but Asterius is a little more tanky and designed to resist Bell. Bell, skill 1 is a 136 MP cost, self, slow, light attack damage 120%, and agility and penetration rate 70% for 5 turns. And self, add 2 physical nullifiers, i.e. 2 physical attacks will be nullified. 4 additional actions, foes, plural, highlight physical attack, and self shield 20% of HP, and remove physical and magic resistance debuffs. If HP is if HP is above 10%, you'll get 1 KO save removed if it drops below 10%. Here's the caveat to this. His buffs become 100% light and 60% agility and penetration, with 3 extra actions, which are mid, and only 1 physical nullification. Plus, his shield is only 20% instead of 10, or is only 10% instead of 20%. If he is not fully max limit broken, so to get Bell's full stats, you got to MLB this unit. Okay, that is the one caveat. That information was not on Asterius, but I'd be shocked if Asterius didn't have something like that too. Skill 2-1 Bell is a 74 MP cost, foes plural, fast, super light physical attack with ultra encounter rate, temporary strength boost, and 30% HP steal, and foes remove AoE damage taken reduction buffs and physical resistance down 40% for 3 turns. Allies, strength and critical rate, strength mind you, and critical rate plus 60% for 3 turns. I think that's the highest all-unit strength rate that we've seen. Skill 3 is a 42 MP cost, foe singular, super light physical attack with ultra critical rate, skill damage 40% per self-strength and penetration buff, and critical rate buff. So bear in mind, while Asterius had 60% for 2 skills, Bell has 40% for 3 skills. It literally is the same attack. It is literally the same single target attack if you build these units right and you give them both adventure and assist buffs. SA is a foe's plural ultralight physical attack with ultra critical rate, skill damage 40% per strength, penetration rate, and critical rate buff. Bear in mind that actually is down from Asterius, who is a 240%. Bell is still stuck at 120% at max limit break. Still a crazy hit, but Asterius is literally twice as hard. And allies remove status debuffs, and when HP is greater than 1% of max HP, you'll get 1 KO save removed if you drop below 1%, which means if you're dead, you don't get it. Or if you get the KO save, congratulations, you lost it. Basically, if your health is already chilling at 1%, you don't care whether you get this or not. You're already, like, counted out. Like, you know, whatever. Asterius feels like a better kit, personally. Bell is a little more easy to understand and a little easier to see how he works. Asterius feels like a stronger kit overall, but neither one of these dudes are slouches. Neither one of these are to be trifled with. It'll be really interesting to see how they play out, and if, with some of the units we've gotten recently in the game, you could run them on the same team. That would be a powerhouse move. So, skill-wise, he still has fast growth and nullifies charm, 45% dark resistance. Regular attacks encounters are light physical attack. 30% all stats, 20% damage on critical and penetration. He does have an Oxlayer, which works on Asterius. And 10% HP heal per turn, which gets unlocked, as well as 20% damage on critical and extra 20% damage on critical, which also gets unlocked, which means with those two skills, you have to either, I believe one's +3 and the other one's full max limit break to get those particular unlocks. So, in short, 25 minutes later into this video, these units are completely bonkers, broken, nuts, and you need them. And yes, that does mean that every other 4-star that we've had pales a comparison. And yes, going forward, you need to have a nest egg saved up for the next one of these banners that comes out. Which means at any given and all times, my free-to-play people out there, after this banner leaves, until you have 6,400 Iris saved up, you need to touch absolutely nothing. Up to and including the New Year's banners that's coming. Good news is we have 5,500 Iris apparently incoming. So, you know, everybody's going to get an opportunity to hit this if you're smart. Probably more considering Familia War Game and all that kind of stuff that's happening currently. So, save your Iris. Hit this banner. After this banner goes away, plan for the next one. Never, ever, ever go broke. Because as someone who currently is Iris broke, when these banners drop, you're going to be clamoring for another opportunity. That's the video. Like, comment, share, all the good stuff, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Good luck on your summons night. We'll be live shortly after 9 p.m. this evening so that I can do mine. So hope to see you guys there.